Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we're doing 1992's White Men Can't Jump. This movie is not about Corey, just so everybody knows. But
it's close. It's pretty close.
Super close. It might be about me, definitely. But before we get started, if you want to reach out and follow me or Corey on Twitter, you can follow me at Junior D's. You can follow Corey at Corey_idol. And if you want to follow the show on Twitter or Instagram, you can follow us there at Kiss the Reviews. Boom, done and done. Let's get into the cast of 1992's White Men Can't Jump. This film stars Wesley Snipes as Sidney Deane, Woody Harrelson as Billy Hoyle, Rosie Perez as Gloria Clemente, Tyra Ferrell as Rhonda Deane, and Kadeem Hardison as Junior.
He's so good in this role.
It's been a while since I've seen Kadeem Hardison in anything, and I love him in this movie. And this, we talk about, we're fresh off the back of, Christmas movies and what's a Christmas staple, what's a Halloween staple. Like, this movie has been just a year-round staple for me for eons.
Oh yeah, this movie's phenomenal.
The writing in this movie is really good. How it's shot is really good. And we always talk about sports movies, and this will qualify as a sports movie. But we always talk about how it's shot and how realistic the play looks. These basketball scenes are phenomenal.
Oh yeah, Ron Shelton, I believe, directed this.
Yeah, he directed and wrote.
He's a great sports movie guy. Like, between this and Bull Durham, I don't need to put anything else on the dude's resume.
Yeah,
beat him, I dare you.
Yeah,
but yeah, this movie was so impactful on me as a child. I think I was about 6th grade when this movie came out. And I literally left the theater, went to my friend's house because he was the only guy who had a basketball hoop, and I didn't put down a basketball after that. I loved this movie, and when I knew there was a possibility to lie and cheat and steal money from other people while playing basketball, come on, who are we talking about?
Corey's life playing basketball and as a hustler began.
Literally, we were trying to hustle people in 7th grade.
I wanted to hustle people so bad at basketball, but a 5'8" Italian can't do that. So I was just like, I guess I'll just stick to soccer at this point.
Probably the safe bet. If it makes you feel any better, a 6 foot, I don't know, mutt can't do it either, because I was not good.
Yes.
It turns out I was not Billy Hoyle.
No. Better than me, but definitely not Billy Hoyle.
No.
So let's get into this movie. So this movie opens up with Billy going to the local basketball courts where Duck and King, the legendary hoopsters, played at Venice Beach in California. And the next day, the games have started, and we see Sidney Deane and his crew playing ball, talking shit, gambling on games. And when one of the players can't go because of his bunion, Sidney sees the Snow White Billy Hoyle and invites him to play.
This is fairly accurate to what a court looks like with a group of guys that actually know each other.
Yes.
If they don't know each other, you don't talk like that, because you're gonna get fucked up or shot.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, basketball players, shit talkers. Uncle Corey here. Unless you really know your audience, stay away from the mama jokes, because that will get you fucked up quick.
Yes, it will.
Real quick. Other than that, though, yeah, basketball and shit talking are hand in hand.
Oh, absolutely.
More so, I would say, than almost any other sport. Like, you have to talk shit in basketball.
You were right.
There isn't another sport that you can, like, play at the park with just a handful. You only really need 4 guys to play basketball to have a 2-on-2 game.
Yeah.
but a lot of it is one-on-one shit. I'm guarding this guy, you're guarding that guy. So
Yep.
there's a lot more opportunity for shit talk, and you're face to face.
Yeah, it's
So
personal.
it absolutely is personal. After getting into a back and forth, Billy challenges Sidney to a game of best out of 5 from the top of the key. Sidney gets hustled here and loses his money.
Billy presents a good lesson for everyone here. When he says, you see me, you see the hat, the funky clothes, the gray socks, and you think I'm a chump. And then, no, I see a geek. That's right, a fucking geek.
It is hard goddamn work making something this pretty look like a chump or a geek. So I must be doing it for a reason.
That is such a good lesson. If it all looks too perfect, it is.
It is, absolutely. So Billy then goes home to the motel that he and his girlfriend Gloria are staying at. She's in the motel studying to be on Jeopardy. And they owe money to the Stookie brothers, and they're hiding out until they get enough money to pay these guys off for not only maybe a car that they purchased, but also Billy was supposed to throw a basketball game and didn't. So now they're after him for that money.
Correct.
And there's something about watching the movie this time around and looking at everything critically. When they talk about money here throughout, the figures seem to be off throughout the entire film for me. And yes. I could be totally wrong. Like, they owe him $7,000, but then Billy gets $5,000 at the spoiler alert. He pays the Stookie brothers off, but then they're paid off. But Sidney is supposed to get half of that money at the end. And every time they gamble on these games, like Sidney's like, I got $1,700 to gamble on this game. And it was like, well, Billy had what are you putting in? So either Sidney's not putting any of his own money up front in any of these games, or they're not splitting it. But the figures to all these games was off to me throughout. It was almost like they shot it in separate scenes and yada yada, but it was like they just forgot what the figures were.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi kids, Uncle Corey here. Math is important. And if you're across the pond, we'll say it like this. Maths is important.
Boom! 2 + 2 is 4. -1, that's 3. Quick maths.
There is one scene where they're playing, it's the second hustle they do. And he goes to rob the guy and comes back with $250. And he's like, I'll put my money up against that $250. And then they go to the next scene where it's the security guard and they're doing that third hustle. And he's like, I got $1,100. He's like, I got 17. I'll put my 1,700 up against your 1,100. That's a $600 difference.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. That's not keep the change.
Exactly.
That's a lot of fucking cheddar you're fucking just donating to the cause. For what purpose?
Exactly.
That's fucking ridiculous. My 1,100 against your 1,100. And
yes.
Let's just also call this, if you're putting a fucking CZ into the motherfucker instead of a diamond, that bitch ain't never gonna be worth $300. I'm with you, dude. The math in all of this is so fucked. She buys a car for $3,000 to make up for that not wanting to pay for the car. He has to fix the game, but then he owes him $7,000. And then he pays him off $5,000, but they've been betting thousands of dollars per hustle with Sid.
Yes.
Ron Shelton is a great sports movie director, really not good at math.
No, he definitely needed a calculator or an abacus or something for this fucking film, because I was trying to pay attention and do quick maths, and it wasn't working out in my head or on my calculator on my phone. So
you need the ladies from Hidden Figures to come and help your ass.
Sidney here then tracks Billy down at the motel and offers Billy a business proposal to play in a tournament for a big cash prize together, and it's coming up in 2 weeks. So in the meantime, they can hustle the local courts. So they decide to put a plan together and they get right to work. They immediately go to the first game against Ray. Sidney says you could pick anyone out here for a 2-on-2 for $500. Ray tries to rob the local convenience store and loses his shit after they lose and pulls out a blade, then goes to his car to get his second gun, and everyone runs away here.
This has happened. I grew up in basically Whitehaven, USA, right? My park was very white. Everybody in my neighborhood was very white. This happened at every fucking park I ever played basketball at.
Yes.
Everybody had to bail because some fucker went to go get his gun. Every single time.
Well, and you and I, and you know where I used to live when we first met.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to go to the courts down there to play.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty sure that would happen down there too. So this is literally in every court situation.
Oh yeah, this is not a black or white court situation. This is basketball. And what's hilarious about what you just said, when we did play, Armando used to live in the hood, for those that don't know. And it wasn't like Cabrini Green. He didn't live in, fucking Southside Chicago bullshit. But it was a hood, regardless. Hood's a hood.
Yes.
It has hood tendencies.
Yes.
And when we would go down to that court, they thought we were cops.
Yes, absolutely.
They would not engage with us. They would not, we were totally like, hey, you want to play some basketball? Kid.
The amount of times that people yelled out 5-0 as we were walking to the court was amazing.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is why I do have hood tendencies. So we then get the Jimi Hendrix conversation. The first of many white people do X versus black people do X conversations, which this whole Jimi Hendrix conversation, the funniest part about this, because it's, do you hear Jimmy, listen in, whatever. So you get that whole conversation. But when they pull out the tape, the cassette, and the case, and they give it to Sidney, and Gloria goes, "This drummer's white."
What the fuck are you talking about? His drummer was white.
Whole damn band is white except for Jimmy. This is a fucking fiction, man. This is airbrush bullshit.
It's one of the part of that scene that literally makes me laugh out loud every single time, because Sidney gets so pissed at the conversation and where it's going.
Now, this movie does a phenomenal job with all of its racial conversations.
Yes, absolutely.
Because they do a good job of flipping everything on its head.
Yeah.
What you're supposed to think, Billy is versus what you're supposed to think Sidney is. Because when you meet them, they're just two guys hustling on the court.
Yeah.
And you don't find out till later, Sidney is the one who is the hard-working guy, has multiple jobs. He's trying to do it the right way. Billy is the hustler.
Yeah.
And in literally every Hollywood movie up until now, it has been the exact opposite of that.
Yes.
I'm the black guy from the streets, and I'm hustling, and I'm just trying to get a leg up, mister. I'm working really hard. I guess we're gonna team up now. I just, you know what I mean? Like,
you're absolutely right. And Billy is like the biggest piece of shit. And FYI, we know, everybody knows a Billy who, if there's $20 burning a hole in their pocket, it will be gone by the end of the day. God forbid you give them a couple hundred or a couple of thousand. That shit, they will do damage with that shit.
Yeah, Billy's got a gambling problem. And desperately needs a hotline number to help him.
Absolutely.
But he's got a lot of problems too. Like, I would love to. Billy's childhood matches Mickey's childhood from Natural Born Killers.
Yes.
Because Billy's very controlling.
Yep.
He's very demanding of Gloria, which Gloria, by the way, is fucking awesome.
Yes.
And my love for Rosie Perez started with this movie. I know it should have started with maybe Do the Right Thing, but it was this movie.
No, this movie literally set it off for me.
Yeah.
Billy and Sidney then go to Watts to hustle, After a tough game, Billy and Sidney lose $1,700. Billy's $1,700, by the way, because Sidney puts zero of his own money into this shit.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, opponents. Uncle Corey here. If I lose $1,700 to you and you call me SeaWorld and kiss me on the cheek afterwards, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, at the very least, I'm taking a swing at you. However, the security guard friend of Sidney's, I think his name is Robert in this movie. I don't know that I would take a swing. Whatever I'm doing from about 20 feet away from him, because if he catches me, he's gonna kick my ass. Because dude is fucking built.
Oh, yeah, no, he's jerk.
Yeah.
He's gonna, no, this is gonna have to be like I gotta sneak up on you, sniper situation. You're not dying now, but you will die soon.
There might be a chloroform thing involved. I don't know. Smell this rag. Does it smell funny? Kind of situation. I don't know.
No, it won't be a fisticuffs moment between us.
After this, Billy goes back home and tells Gloria about how Sidney was off on his game, and she immediately tells Billy that he was hustled. She points it out. Like, Billy's talking through it, and he's like, I don't know, man. Like, I hit all my shots. Sidney was a little bit off. He normally plays good D. He wasn't playing good D, and she just went, you got hustled. And this is, okay, I gotta do a don't do that.
Don't do that, it's not good for you.
Hi, gamblers out there. Look to your left and look to your right. If you can't spot the sucker, you're the sucker, okay? Don't be Billy here. Billy thinks Billy's kind of like a better version of Mush from A Bronx Tale.
Yeah.
Like, almost everything he touches turns to mush. But he thinks he's got a leg up on everybody in the game.
Yep.
And he can't spot when he's getting hustled, even though he's been hustling literally for what it sounds like from hearing Billy for, I don't know, 10 years, roughly.
Yep.
Basically since he was in college.
No, this is exactly what cockiness will get you.
Yeah.
You can always be hustled. There is always somebody out there better than you.
Yes, absolutely.
Whether it's a fight, a joke, a fucking debate, whatever it is, somebody out there is better. So you have to be on your toes, always.
And to tag, just to finish out the don't do that, don't be Sidney here. This was the first time I actually thought about it while watching this movie. And Sidney's playing a very short game here. Play the long con with Billy, because you can get Billy to basically do anything you want him to do, and he's already shown that in a very short period of time.
Yes.
So you could save the hustle, that final hustle, for later on down the line. Use Billy for all his talent until you don't need him anymore. Well, then you play the final con, the final hustle, and then you hustle him out of the money. I think Sidney just played this a little too short. He was thinking too short term with it.
No, you're 100% correct. And I have a question for that as well. Two questions, actually. Because one, why would you do that if you've already set up when you initially propositioned Billy with teaming up the tournament for $5,000?
Yes.
That's more money than you just made cheating him and hustling him with Robert.
Yep.
So one, that's stupid because you just lost your partner for the tournament that you know you could have won with him.
Yes.
You guys are way too good of teammates to actually have that happen. So one, there's that question. Why would you be that short-sighted?
Yeah.
And two, did Sidney set this up as an emotional reaction? Because I think they were totally cool with each other right up until Billy got super personal and said, how many dinners did that chain set your family back? I think after he said that, Sidney immediately went into we're going to Watts tomorrow, big bucks.
Yeah.
And we're going to call Robert immediately and be like, yo, I got this motherfucker on the hook. We're going to get him.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only reason he did it.
That's a great insight.
Billy got way too personal.
Yeah, that's a great insight, and I didn't even think about that, but that's a good way of looking at it, and that could be the motivation behind it.
It's the only explanation I can come up with because I had the same thought as you. It's so short-sighted on his part and makes
Yeah.
no sense. Like, don't bring up the tournament at all then, if that's the case.
Yeah. Gloria here then takes Billy to Sidney's house, where Gloria and Sidney's wife, Rhonda, talk and work out a plan to where Billy and Gloria would get some of the money back that Sidney took. But Sidney and Billy would play in that corporate sponsored tournament together and then split the funds at the end if they win. We get to the tournament where Billy and Sidney quickly get through this competition and win in the finals against Flight and Willie. And Woody Harrelson is so good throughout these scenes, talking shit the whole time, trying to get I'm trying to get them out of their game and piss you off because you play better. But what I really, really liked about this movie, from the first time I saw it all the way through now, is the tournament that's the big game. That's the ending. That's the crescendo to this movie. But it's, well, I shouldn't say to this movie, to any movie, the big game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But in this movie, there's still 40 minutes of film left after they win the big tournament.
Yes.
Like most movies would end on the tournament and they just continue, the fall of Billy and like it's I love how they did this.
Oh yeah, they're in a typical movie you would have seen it where they would have trained together and worked out, right? Yeah. They would have done the Rocky and Apollo running on the beach kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
And then like Billy would have tripped up and fell and he said something to Sidney and they fell out and then they got back together and Sidney came back at the end and said, "Let's win it, buddy." You know what I mean? Something fucking ridiculous like that. Yeah. And then, like you said, the tournament, there it is, end of movie.
Yep.
And they didn't do that at all, which is phenomenal writing. And two, I love how realistic this tournament was. Like outside of
absolutely,
I've never ever heard anybody just open air talk shit like that in a basketball tournament, let alone two teams fucking hate each other as much as these two teams did.
Yes.
However, the physicality that was involved, 100% there, dude. I started playing in 2-on-2 or 3-on-3 tournaments when I was about in the 8th grade. And this was like against grown men.
Yes.
Dude, they didn't give a fuck.
No, they did not.
You'd get elbows and fucking... I had more grown men knees in my asshole than Armando had from preachers.
After winning this tournament, Sidney and Billy drive home together with their winnings. And Billy gets super sensitive about Sidney thinking that he can't dunk a basketball. So he decides to gamble his half of the winnings on the fact that he can dunk. He loses, goes to the store, buys Gloria a dress, and then heads back to the motel to tell Gloria about losing their money again.
Dude, this scene is painful.
It really is.
Painful
really
to watch.
Is.
And what's even more painful is watching Sidney. Because Sidney, he gets into that mode like, oh, okay, we're betting now?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to take your fucking money. Because he gets right back into that shit talking mode where he's trying to pump up his shoes, getting into his head, fucking with him so much.
Yes.
This whole scene is just gut-wrenching. Because you are watching them like fall apart. Yeah. In the worst possible way. Their relationship, Billy's crumbling, and it's over nothing. Who the fuck cares if you can dunk the fucking basketball? Yeah. If I score 50 points in a game and we win the game, what does it matter how many I fucking dunked?
Yeah, well, and that's the funny thing, because while they're in the car, Sidney's like, literally, I see you getting pissed, and I'm just poking you. I'm poking the bear. Yeah. It doesn't mean anything. I'm just fucking with you.
Yep.
Stop getting so pissed. He tells them several times, put your fucking money away, put that check away. We're not gambling here. I'm going to take you home. Go buy Gloria something nice and celebrate. Because that's what I'm going to do. And even after like the first or second time he misses on the dunk, Sidney even like, he's just like, dude, I mean, you don't got to do this.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I watched this being, you know, just young and dumb, and I didn't understand how gambling addictions work. But I was just like, I'm staring at Woody Harrelson on the screen, and I'm like, dude, Billy, just what the fuck are you doing? Like, even back then, I didn't get it. Like, how do you get that worked up about shit? Dumb shit. Like you said, dunking a basketball. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like, this whole scene,
nothing.
And then him, like, walking home dejected, and then having to tell Gloria that he lost the fucking money again, and her just like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Like, this is the fucking last straw of many last straws that have happened in our fucking relationship. But
this is such a good scene too, because the dichotomy of Sidney coming home and having his nice romantic dinner. He's a winner.
yeah,
Right? Like, I mean, he feels more like a man than he probably has in fucking months.
yes,
Bringing home a handful of fucking cash, beautiful wife across from him. She made this beautiful dinner for him.
yeah,
And then they're having this nice romantic sex time. And then you cut over to Rosie Perez with her fucking combat boot kicked up on the fucking table on the pizza, drinking out of the bottle of wine, the shit ass candles sitting there. Dude, it's gut wrenching.
yeah.
And you just know what's going to happen too when he gets home.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, and the only thing I can say that's good about it is he doesn't try and lie to her.
Yes.
Because my fucked up head, I would have been like, you know what? I'm
got
probably
jumped.
going to try and hit it one more time before I have to tell her that I lost the money.
I got jumped. They stole the check. Oh, it was a whole thing. I would have fucking run my face into like a lamppost 10 times before I got there. And like, look what they did to my face.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
The moral of the story is just lie better.
The moral of the story is don't gamble. He missed it too, guys. Don't gamble on stupid shit.
When she finds out about him losing the money, she loses her shit. She packs all her stuff and leaves the motel. Billy then gets ambushed by the Stookie brothers, and they show him a photo album of men they've murdered and give him 1 week to get them the money that he owes them.
Corey's Life Lessons.
Hi. Loan Shark's Uncle Corey here. Quit with the theatrics. You're putting a gun on somebody's dick. If you're going to do that, shoot the dick off. Otherwise, fuck off. Because this is ridiculous. These guys aren't killers. We know that at the end of this.
No.
They're the biggest chicken shits walking.
Absolutely.
Just stop with the theatrics. Get into a different... You got a rape fan. Figure out what to do with that. Hand out candy to kids or something.
Yeah. No, these guys are halfway crooks. That's who they
For real.
are. They are halfway crooks. As a last resort here, Billy then goes to Sidney for help. Sidney then asks his security guard friend, Robert, to get Gloria onto the Jeopardy lot that he does security for so she could get on the show. So Robert challenges Billy to a one-time cross-court hook shot, which Billy nails, and then we cut to Jeopardy and Gloria's on Jeopardy.
I have made that hook shot from that distance more times than it's not really that difficult of a shot. Because I'm a terrible shooter. Terrible. And I can fucking say I've made that shot more times than not. So,
I have not.
Just a hot tip.
Okay. Well, it's good to know because
the thing he does with his arm there, where he's lining it up with his arm, that actually works really well.
Oh, I bet it does. I just have never been able to hit. I don't got enough like power to.
Well, you got stubby arms. You're like a T-Rex shooting a hook shot. You hit yourself in the head with the basketball.
I'm like a Browner T-Rex. That's it. We cut to Gloria on Jeopardy. Rip Alex Trebek, by the way. Gloria goes nuts, and she gets in the zone. She crushes it, wins over $14,000. And after the show, Billy tries to get Gloria back by singing her a song, and she takes him back. And then back at the Shangri-La Hotel, she gives Billy $2,000 of her winnings to buy himself some new clothes to go on job interviews.
And Jeopardy is about the time where you should be realizing that Gloria is the actual protagonist in this movie.
Yes. Yes.
She's the like her and Rhonda are the truly only good people in this movie.
Yes.
And I love the fact that they gave her that opportunity to be on Jeopardy. It wasn't just something, because it's so ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
Fucking Jeopardy. And like, that's her goal, to get out of her life's goal is Jeopardy. That's it. She's not trying to do anything else but Jeopardy. Yes. And all she's doing is waiting for a call when they didn't have cell phones. And you're moving from hotel to hotel to hotel with no real residence for anybody to contact you at.
So, cut to Sidney's apartment. Rhonda tells Sidney that their apartment was broken into and the people stole everything, including their $5,000 that Sidney won from the tournament.
And a baby's crib. That's how you know it was crackheads.
Oh, 100%.
Only people that are stealing a baby's crib are crackheads.
Yes. And anybody good at it is just going to be like, guys, leave the baby crib. Take everything else. Like, leave the furniture. Can we just take some stuff that we can take to the pawn shop or straight cash or whatever?
If I grab your $5,000 in cash, I'm leaving the rest of your shit.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm good.
Yes.
The rest of that shit can get me caught. $5,000? I'm going to spend that so fucking fast, you'll never find me.
Sidney then tracks down Billy, tells him that the legends, King and Duck, are playing at the courts, and it's going to cost $2,500 to play. And he gives him his story about his wife and the apartment getting broken into and yada, yada. Billy then tells Gloria about the game. Gloria tells him that if he gambles her money that she gave him, they're through. They're done. And after he guarantees victory, she leaves him.
Yeah, this is so childlike from the two. I guarantee victory. And Sidney's like, yeah. What are we, fucking 10?
Yes.
That means nothing. It means fucking nothing.
Yes.
Less than nothing. Who cares?
Now, I will say this, because I'm going to do a quick don't do that, but I am proud of Gloria at this point.
Don't do that, it's not good for you.
Hi, Glorias of the world. I was going to do a don't do that before, but I figured I'll throw it in here. Okay? You've just been on Jeopardy, or you got a raise, or whatever. You got an influx of cash somehow, and your boyfriend or husband or significant other is a piece of shit with a horrible gambling issue. First of all, don't give them just cash. Okay? Just straight cash. Be like, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the store together and I'll buy you whatever. Treat them like you would treat anybody else. I'm just not going to hand you cash. Let's go do this together so I know that you're going to do it. That's one. Two, this one goes for Billy. And I've said this in previous shows, in previous reviews. Let them know what's in it for them or why you're doing what it is you're doing. He offers no explanation outside of the King and Duck. These guys are legends and we gotta go and we can beat them. That's not what you tell her. What you tell her is, listen, Sidney helped me out when I was in a jam, and now I'm gonna help Sidney out. I owe him. I know I owe you, but his marriage is falling apart. He just got robbed. Like, this is the one time. You pose it in a certain way where it's like, almost if she says, good luck with that, she's the asshole, not you. The way there's zero explanation, so he's the asshole from jump.
No, I totally agree.
But Gloria does the right thing here and says, if I'm going to leave, if you gamble the money, we're fucking done.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, fellas. Uncle Corey here. If your friend who owes you has a significant other, and you know that it's been rocky and da-da-da-da, you have to understand that she's going to win
Yes.
every single time. Period. I know that's my boys and ride or die. No. The wives come first, bud.
Absolutely.
It's always the way it's been. It's always the way it's going to be. And if you don't understand that, you're probably single for a reason.
Cut to Sidney and Billy playing the king and duck. And after taking them to game point, Sidney gives Billy a lob pass. Billy dunks it for the win. They celebrate. They got the money. And Billy goes right back to the hotel, finds that Gloria has packed up all her shit and she's gone.
And they tie this back around so well.
Yes.
With the sometimes you win, but you really lose.
Yep.
Or tie. They did such a good job with Gloria here. Because she sounds batshit crazy 9 times out of 10 with everything she's saying.
Yep.
But if you're really listening to the words coming out, it all makes total sense what she's saying. And she's 100% right with all of it.
Yep.
And this is a great example. He won, but he lost.
Yes, absolutely. And while they're at this hotel in the room, the Stookie brothers get a hold of Billy. He gives them, I guess, all of the money he owes them. But after taking some pictures of Billy pretending to be dead for their murder album, they leave, and Sidney and Billy then talk about Gloria leaving for good. Billy then asks Sidney for a job, and the movie ends as they walk down the street, argue some more, and Billy tries to bet Sidney on a basketball game once again. Like, I love how this movie ends. Mm-hmm. I don't, and if you've watched other reviews, I obviously don't like when there's a nice, pretty bow tied on the end of a movie. It's great and all if you're just watching for entertainment to pass the time, whatever. But as far as a good movie goes, fractured endings are endings that I like. Darker endings. Gloria leaves. She says, fuck Billy. And all you could think of at the end is, oh, she went on to have a better life because she got this piece of shit out of her life. But we also get Billy and Sidney arguing like they've been arguing this entire movie, but it's a little bit different because now they're like friends.
Yes.
Like the relationship has changed in that arc of their relationship. So now they're friends and now they're arguing. But again, Billy is still a piece of shit trying to gamble money on basketball to literally the first credit rolls.
Yeah. You think there when he's like, I got to get a job. Can you get me a job? You know, Sidney's like, you're starting to hear the music now, Billy Hoyle.
Yeah.
Like it's all like Billy's growing up. Way to go, Billy. Even though you had to lose, you know, it's what it took for you to really get your shit together.
Yes.
Good for you, buddy. No. He's gonna burn those paychecks as soon as he gets them.
Oh, absolutely. And he's gonna be trying to drag you into every ball game that he could find around the corner.
Billy needs to talk to somebody professionally about his problems.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I mean, dude, at the end of the day, I love this movie. Again, this movie is 30 years old now. Mm-hmm. It still resonates. It's still great. All the actors are fucking phenomenal in this movie. Mm-hmm. And there's so many quotable lines. We always talk about quotable lines from movies, especially in comedies. From earlier at the very beginning where Billy and Sidney first meet. So you have Kadeem Hardison standing next to Billy as Billy's taking his shots, and you have him talking shit, but you also have him talking to Sidney as Sidney tries to get money from Junior.
Yep.
And they start talking about going to Sizzler.
Go with Sizzler. We go with Sizzler.
Anytime I won money, was about to get money, like I sang that little bit from Junior every single time for I can't even tell you how many years. It's so good, but there's so many. It's so pretty.
It's pretty. It's so pretty.
A lot of these lines from Sidney, I kind of just put into my vernacular for like the next 10 years, roughly.
Yeah, I cannot overstate how hugely impactful this movie was on my life. Just from, this was the only sport ball I could really play worth the shit. This movie, I think, was the first time I ever really was like, oh, that's how you talk shit. Okay. Yep. And where I started to develop that horrible part of my life.
Yes.
And my personality. But
same.
This movie was so impactful, even to like the life advice Sidney's given, where, you know, listen to the woman.
Yeah.
That I've said that, I've given that advice to so many of my friends. It's not even funny. Just listen to the woman. Shut the fuck up. Just listen to the woman, and your life will be so much better.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, you know, like don't try and solve my problem. I don't want you to get me a drink of water. I want you to sympathize with. That is so true to life. If you have a female partner, they don't want you to solve all their problems. If you're like, oh, well, tell Karen to da-da-da-da-da, and then you do-do-do-do, they're going to get super pissed. Sometimes they just want you to shut the fuck up and listen to their day. That's it.
Absolutely.
Everything about this movie is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it should be shown in elementary schools to all kids.
I agree.
This is
wholeheartedly.
Here's some real world life lessons, kids.
Yes, you could probably X out all the boobs on
why
on Gloria.
Let them see.
I don't know. I'm just saying. Quit trying to indoctrinate my kids, Corey.
There's a God somewhere.
We'll end on that note then. Do you have anything else?
No, sir.
All right, cool. Well, for Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1992's White Men Can't Jump.